Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Blu-rayDave back with another kind of vlog type video. Um, let's talk more about the Star Wars DVDs. You have the OGs. I can't stress enough, just talking about these. Like, oh my gosh, every time I look at these or even just talk about these, like, it brings a big amount of joy to my face and certain, like, really big nostalgia to it too. Like, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure everybody does because these were like the ultimate DVDs you needed to have in your collection. I swear it's like every friend's house that I went. Of course, I don't go like going into their movie cabinets, see what movies they have. Like, no, like if they're actually visually like right in front of me, I'll know right away. Like, hey, you guys have these DVDs. Like, oh my gosh, like seriously though. Can you imagine if Disney were to still do this today with the more releases? Like, again, this is what Disney's missing out on. This was like the pinnacle of physical media for sure. Um, and I'm honestly happy with how I bought these because even the original trilogy, like the 2004 DVDs, did come out in gold, but I'm just like, you know what? Silver suits the original trilogy. Like, with the prequels, if you bought them in blue, which was the what was it, the full screen edition? Like, sure, would have been nice to have full screen, but the gold, it just works because it does. And of course, there's other OG Star Wars DVDs, as you guys see in my collection. I'm trying to get everything as I can. Like, I still need to get Droids, Ewoks, which is the cartoon series and the live action movie series. Um, yeah, I feel like I have almost everything. Uh, I would always go to my local library to get these. And, unfortunately, though, nowadays I don't go to my local library anymore. Um, I still can. I just haven't gone in a long time, like 6 years. That's probably the longest that I've stopped going to my library. And, like I've always said, like, if you're looking to get these releases, like the original trilogy, for example, please go with these, okay? I just hate the 2006 special edition DVDs that they came out with because that was the last time that you could physically get the unaltered versions of the original trilogy on DVD. And I'm just like, people, why are you complaining? Like, enjoy the specialized editions. Like, come on. 1997 gave us these for a reason, but of course, they improved over the years, which is pretty good. Like, honestly, who wants to rewatch the original 1997 special edition of Jabba the Hutt like that? Ew, no. Go with 2004. And, of course, thank God with the 2011 original Blu-ray box set. Like, oh my gosh. That was like, oh man, George knew what he was doing when he released that box set. Um, there are some pretty hardcore Star Wars collectors out there that would get everything. Like let's say with the prequel trilogy, for example, right? They come in those skinny cases. So if you get them in a 3-pack, you get them in the skinny cases, but they do come with their bonus discs. But I'm just like, is it worth it having the skinny cases? Like, I prefer my Star Wars DVDs to be like the regular cases. And I remember one time at my local library, right? They had like the DVD cover of Revenge of the Sith, right? But well, it wasn't exactly the same, but it was on a Blu-ray. So I'm thinking like, why am I unaware of this? Has George re-released the films individually on Blu-ray? And I haven't looked them up since then. I should though, guys. Like, it did look bootleg. It looked super official. Like, it looked like it would have come with the 2011 Blu-ray. So hopefully when I look up results, hopefully my perspective on it still remains the same. Because oh my gosh, it's pretty crazy. Um, I don't know if you were able to get the original trilogy 2004 DVDs individually, because I got these individually off of Amazon. Because with that box set, you also get the original trilogy bonus disc, and I actually have that in two different copies. Unintentionally, by the way, I had the silver one for a long time, but the golden one that was actually given to me by a friend. I just really hope he watches all my Star Wars unboxings just so that he knows what I have. Like, I don't ask him to buy me these, okay? They just come out of the blue. Like, so I know you're watching this. I just want to know why you get me these. Like, it's it's a nice thought. I appreciate that. I'm not complaining. I'm just like, you should have to go out of your way to get me those, okay? Like, I understand, like, if it's like a late Christmas gift or an early birthday present or whatever, like, I get that, but it's just like, you don't have to do that, okay? Like, yeah, I'm speechless here, guys. Um, but I keep preaching this every time, though, guys. It's like, if you have any of these old DVDs, you are considered cool, okay? That's just a rule. That's just a Star Wars rule. I think that's something that everybody came up with, like, yep. It's just plain obvious. Like, I'm even surprised that George never even considered releasing a 6-pack of these on DVD. Like I said, you got your 3-packs, like of the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. I'm pretty sure, yes, the original trilogy did have another 3-pack, which I'm pretty sure was the '06 releases. Um, and another one why I don't like those releases because of the posters. I think they're too busy, and Harrison Ford's hair in there just doesn't look right. Like, I felt like they had to reshoot some of his promotional stuff just for that. Like, I even have the lunchbox. Like, I have the freaking lunchbox. The lunchbox is cool. So here's this, for example. So this is what the 2006 um, DVD of A New Hope would look like. See, look at that. Harrison doesn't look right there. Like, everybody else looks fine, but Harrison, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure he's like, come on, guys, you're giving me a really crappy hair day. And I think the DVDs sometimes came in bins like this as well. Of course, bigger, like bigger lunchboxes. Like, heck yeah. Oh my gosh. But of course, if somebody were to give me those DVDs, I would just keep them for like archival sake, because people will want to know how many different versions of these movies came out. And let me tell you, the original trilogy had a crap ton of re-releases over the years since '81. And I'm hoping this will be the very last time for the Star Wars movies to be, like, finalized. Like, the prequels, sure, they had some fine tuning as well. I did appreciate that. It's just, when is it enough? I mean, like I said, these DVDs, they mean everything to me. Everything. Like, so freaking speechless here, guys. I remember being just like 10 years old. 10 years old. Gosh. What a great time to be a Star Wars fan, right? And still now, I would love to rebuy my very first Star Wars shirt that I got. And this was very popular back in the day. It's the blue Lego Star Wars 9 minifigure shirt. I still have it. I worn it before, like, a couple years back, just to see how it felt like. Like, I'm sure I could get it a bigger size. Like, oh my gosh, I want to bring that factor of nostalgia back. Like, oh my gosh, like, oh man. Okay, what am I doing? Oh man. I remembered the day that George announced that he was going to bring all 6 of the movies on Blu-ray. Like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I'm happy to say that still to this day that I still have that original box set. I got that on my 13th birthday. Let me tell you, that was the best birthday I've ever had. Like, not only a Star Wars theme, but the fact that I got the complete saga on Blu-ray. And Padawan Menace came out at the same time as that release. Like, and I've said this many, many times over the years. Sure, our family didn't have a Blu-ray player or an HD TV back in the day, but at least that came with the DVD. So I was just like, hey, I can still watch the DVD and enjoy a minifigure. Like, how cool is that, guys? And again, Disney is just missing out on so many good things that George Lucas has done for physical media. Of course, again, like I said, the Roman numerals, you gotta appreciate the Roman numerals. Because back in the day, when we all thought that the sequels were canon, right? We all thought that Disney was gonna continue on with that trend, besides having the Fox logo there, even though they weren't making them anymore. Like, have the Roman numerals. At least they did that for the sequels in the opening titles, but who knows? But we need the proper sequel trilogy. Yep, George Lucas's trilogy, not the Disney trilogy. I cannot support a director, J.J. Abrams, who hates the prequels. Like, what did the prequels ever do to you? And I really did wish that the internet back in the day was way bigger, because yeah, there were a lot of Revenge of the Sith and prequel fans in general who loved those movies, and yet they were being trashed on. And like I said too, there was a time back in the day where you couldn't be a Star Wars fan. You would be made fun of. Like, why? Why? Literally, Star Wars is the pinnacle of cinema. And that's what a lot of people are forgetting nowadays. Nowadays, they just really want to be political about stuff like, oh, without this, or like, whatever, like, we want to have these today, or like, this is better. Like, no. Because the way that George made Star Wars was based on realism. And that's what I enjoyed. And I still enjoy to this day. And that's something that Dave and John are still bringing to the Disney Star Wars. That's something that Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson failed to do, which thank God Rian Johnson's no longer going to make his trilogy. Oh, it sucked. Again, I wish that Dave and John would just come out like James Gunn did with DC, like, announce their slate of projects. Like, they could say, like, oh, this Rey film, that's going to be part of Legends, so that's not really canon. Same with Star Wars Visions, like, and with the Lego Star Wars parodies, like, yep. I mean, hey, at least now that we know that a Star Wars multiverse will be confirmed in the Ahsoka series, like, you know what, like, this makes sense, like. And it's funny how people are saying, like, oh, Star Wars is having a cinematic universe. Like, listen here, people. Star Wars has always been a cinematic universe since 1977. Marvel wasn't the first one to start it, even though Marvel did peaked at that, like, it boosted other franchises to do that, like to make cinematic universes. But Star Wars was the first because George had one long, consistent storyline. Yep. I really wish I could meet him. Really. And of course, I know the rules. No autographs from him. Like, that's why I consider George Lucas to be the best director of all time. Because he knows how to storytell so well. And he doesn't want big corporate companies to take control. Because it is true, Hollywood will hijack franchises. And I understand where people are coming from, like with their complaints about the Disney Star Wars. I understand, okay? I get it. I get it, okay? But look how much of the success that Mandalorian has got. Because remember, guys, that was supposed to be Boba Fett. And I do want to say this, too, and I say this all the time, too. Solo and Book of Boba Fett, those are two passion projects that I'm actually happy that actually came to light, because these are projects that I really wanted ever since I got into Star Wars. Like, you know, as a fan, I don't really care about the criticisms that those two get. Like, I'm just happy to see that both Han and Boba got their own solo projects. And if they're still giving Han a trilogy, then please give him that. I love the guy who played it. In my honest opinion, guys, I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but you need to listen where I'm coming from with this, okay? I think Adrian plays a better Han than Harrison Ford. Now I know that sounds like a Star Wars thing to say, like, oh, you shouldn't say that. Well, let me explain why. And you guys should know your Star Wars history. Harrison wanted Han to die in 6, right? Basically, he was saying, like, oh, frick you, Han. Like, and he got his wish for 7. Basically, over the years, he has been hating on Han. Like, and I look at these actors who commit to these roles, like, okay, you understand that there's a fan base that loves your characters, right? Why would you even sign on to this franchise in the first place if you're going to hate it so much? Again, it could be a character themselves or the franchise itself. Like, that's why I have zero respect for Alec Guinness, because he basically just scarred a kid for life back in the day in an interview. Like, I get it. You want people to talk about your other roles. Like, I'm pretty sure other actors have this fear of, like, oh man, fans are going to be talking about this one role that I play. Like, why can't they acknowledge my other ones? Like, we still do. We still do to this day. Like, I still acknowledge other actors' roles. Like, I don't want to just be like, oh, they're only better in this. Like, no. Like, that's why Ewan McGregor committed so much to prequel Obi-Wan than what Alec did for original Obi-Wan. Like, because I felt like he just gave less commitment to him. Like, you can't tell off a kid by, like, you know, ruining his childhood for him. Like, if he acknowledges you as Obi-Wan, if he doesn't recognize you from other roles, you know, like, kids, they don't really care about that kind of stuff. Like, they only care about this iconic character, right? Like, childhood innocence, right? We can't blame the kids, right? I was like this growing up. Like, there were some certain characters in different TV shows or movies that I was like, oh, hey, I recognize them. Like, they're pretty cool. I like them for that. Like, well, of course, in my adult years right now, I'm just, you know, more I'm acknowledging more and appreciating more of other actors' roles. I don't know where this episode got off with, but hey, it is Star Wars related, so. But I love. This is what I love about this, guys. Anytime I talk Star Wars, I love reading your guys' comments. Like, you guys are dedicated. Like, you would have like a long list of like a long comments. Like, wow, wow. I'm thinking like if they're students or whatever, they probably get like straight A's for having good grammar and all that. Like, oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. I know that the Star Wars community is divided, but at least we can appreciate each other in the Star Wars community, right? That's why, like, I love people like Star Wars Theory, because he is so cool. Like he acknowledges every Star Wars branch. Let's say, like, oh my gosh, he's just so cool. And there's also like Star Wars Explained. Who else? There's Star Wars Theory's friend, Josh, right? He's a pretty cool guy. Um, there's Star Wars Nut 77. He reviews like Star Wars stuff, of course. Like I was thinking like physical media, but like there's other stuff too. Um, there's this other guy. He keeps popping up on my recommendation. I don't know why I don't remember his name, but like he buys everything Star Wars, like the movies and shows, like not just in the U.S. but everywhere in the world. Like, I mean, like I said, that is dedication because I can never in my lifetime buy everything from around the world. Like I said, I only buy my stuff in the U.S. I'm classy like that. But like props to him who just takes the time and effort to research and research to buy every VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, Laserdisc, whatever he could get his hands on and just review it for us because he's literally the guy for Star Wars um like oh my gosh, what do you call it? Like a Star Wars library, Star Wars archival, whatever it is, like oh my gosh, like jeez. Again, I could go on and on and on about certain people in the Star Wars community because everybody's just great. Um, yeah. Well, I guess this is all I have to say. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bell, share my content if you haven't already, and tell me again, what do you think of these DVDs, and do you guys have these? And again, I love reading your comments. I love reading your comments. Sometimes I get one of those comments that really lights up my day. Like I just don't expect it. Like it just makes my day. Like it goes like I'm so happy we have people like you who acknowledges things like this. Like oh my gosh, like thank you guys. I appreciate it. For those of you who wrote all those comments down, you guys know who you are. You're the real ones. And I always stick by A.J. Markle's saying, like, if you watch A.J. Markle, be united, not divided. Uh, and it is true. Like, if you're in Star Wars here, you're gonna you're gonna recognize this quote from Episode 3. I want to make sure I say this right. Like, this war represents a failure to listen. Like, it is true. We ignore other fans' comments, opinions, whatever. It's just we need to be able to hear their sides of their stories, guys, right? We need to have a better understanding where they're coming from. And I just hope the same for you guys. Like I hope you can understand where I'm coming from. And of course, I want to know where you guys are coming from, how you experience Star Wars in your everyday lives, and how did you discover it? I feel like I could have a conversation with you guys, just talk about Star Wars all day. Just talk about, of course, like the good, the bad, the ugly. Like, as long as we can all respect each other's opinions about that, right? All right. Again, I'm going to sign off now. So, again, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for bye. And may the Lord and may the Force be with you guys. Always love you guys. Peace out, guys. Remember, the Force is forever. For all generations. Right? All right. Bye, guys.